What's up, everyone? Thank you very much for joining the Run Your Day podcast. As always, my name is Dan Hafner, CEO and founder of Runwage and the Runwage Movement. Thank you very much for joining. Today's topic inside of the focusing on your power or finding your power is course correcting. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, everyone. So inside of this topic of correcting course, I want to talk a little bit about how you can correct your course in multiple levels. There are many, many different ways that you can go about this. But really, the underlying thing here is that change is necessary, right? They say, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. And I never really understood what that meant as a kid. And now I've come to realize that it's just, things change all the time. And that's how they stay the same. Things are always constantly changing. And if you always go into something with an expectation of how it's going to happen, you're more than likely going to be disappointed. I've done this a lot in my life where I've gotten into a routine, a daily habit, and things just start happening the way that I believe they're supposed to happen. And then eventually that stops working. It stops being the same. And I'm very resistant to change a lot of times. And what I'm trying to be better at is learning that when that's coming, when that change is coming and anticipating it. It's very, very difficult to do. But it's a skill that, if you learn to be more in tune with yourself and more in tune with your life, with your relationships, with your fitness, you can see these changes coming sooner rather than later, and then you're not caught off guard by them. If you're in a fitness routine and you start to think that you're getting to a plateau, you're probably already at that plateau. If your marriage is getting into a stale or strange period or whatever it is, it's probably already there because you're recognizing that it's already there. And this takes years of practice. Like, I am by no means any kind of expert on any of this. But what I'm here to talk about today is this concept of correcting course and how, we do this on a yearly basis, right? When we make New Year's resolutions, we are in fact course correcting our life, or trying to at least. We recognize some change that we need to make, and we resolve to ourselves that we're going to make that. There are smaller time frame course corrections that you can make. I like to do my course corrections on a weekly basis. Every weekend, every Sunday, like evening or so, I will actually sit down in front of my computer and type out things that I've accomplished for the week, things that I didn't accomplish for the week. How can I, course correct and get back on track for the things that I do want to accomplish? And then for the things that I did accomplish, how can I move forward and push forward faster and accelerate my ability to hit those targets? So it's course correction. A lot of people think course correction is just, you veer off course and you get back on course. But it can also be you're staying on course and you're realizing that what you're doing is working. So what can you do to accelerate that? That is also a form of a course correction. You don't want to fix what's not broken, but at the same time, you want to be adaptable and malleable to those constant active changes that are going on, so you can anticipate those plateaus. You can anticipate those changes. So when the time comes, you are prepared. You are in that zone of being uncomfortable and being prepared to be uncomfortable, that when those changes happen, it's like nothing happened. It's like you're just rolling on to the next one. Just bring on the next one, whatever it is. So, but you can also do this method of course correction in your daily life. If something goes in your job, if it goes the way that you didn't think it was supposed to go, it's very easy to do a quick lessons learned and how am I going to do this better, without looping in a boss or a coworker or anything. There are many different methods, and I'm not here to teach you any particular method of how to do this. What I'm trying to teach is just more of the concept. And you would be really surprised to see how much further along you can get in your life over the next 30, 60, 90 days with this simple concept of course correcting. A lot of us will get stuck in a habit that isn't working or get stuck in a rut. You hear people say this all the time, oh, I'm just stuck in a rut. Well, no, you're not willing to change anything. That's all it is. You're not stuck in a rut. You are just accepting the facts as they are and refusing to change. That's really all it is. So the next time you hear somebody say that, or you find yourself saying that to yourself, realize that no, you're not really stuck in a rut. You are just not moving. You are not adapting. You are not forcing yourself to change. Because circumstances are circumstances. Like, you can't control anything. You can't control the weather. You can't control what happens in life. Like, things just happen. Good things and bad things. But what you can control is your attitude and your approach to those things and how you're going to handle those, how you respond to those things. I always had a quote when I was growing up taped on my bedroom door, even as a kid. It said, life is, I forget who said it, but life is 90% what happens to you. Or, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Life is 10% what happens to you. 90% how you choose to respond to it. And I wish I had this quote to this day. I think it got misplaced somehow when I moved out. But, it really is a simple and yet profound statement. Like, there are things that are going to happen to you, whether, you're inside of a challenge or you're taking on a target and you're going right along and you should be just about ready to achieve this thing. And then boom, something goes wrong. Or, you're training for a race, you're training for a marathon, and then you're 2 weeks away and then you pull your hammy or you blow your Achilles or something. Like, that stuff happens. It does. How are you going to respond to it? That's all that matters. What happens is a fact. Like, it is irrevocable. It is unchangeable. It is the past. That you cannot change it. What you choose to do in response to that, to correct your course, get back on track, is 100% up to you. That is what you can control in life. Those are the things you need to focus on. Those are the things that you need to put more and more effort into if you want to get places. It's that simple. It's that simple. Focus on what you can do to correct your courses, correct where you're headed, and then move that way. Take action to make those real. That's the key. You can't just say you're going to do it and then not do it. You have to actually go and take the actions, make the course corrections, and start to change. You have to be the change you want to see. So that's my challenge for you today. Think about how you can start implementing this in your life. How can you start to make small changes during your day? How can you start to, even take some time to review your week from the previous week? You don't have to do what I do, and I sit down for an hour or two sometimes. You don't have to do that. Just think to yourself on a Sunday, even if you wake up on a Sunday or a Saturday. What did I do this week that I can do a little bit better? Do it on your drive home from work on Friday. What can I do? What is not working for me? How can I fix that? Even just small changes. They don't have to be big wholesale changes. I'm talking about these little course corrections, because if you're headed down a path and you change 1 degree of a left turn or a right turn, eventually 100 miles down the road, you're going to end up in a completely different place than you were if you just stayed on that one course. So that 1 degree change can change your entire trajectory in the long run. You won't see it in the medium term or the short term. But in the long term, that 1 degree change makes a world of difference. So that's my challenge for you today. That's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you very much for joining, as always, the Run Your Day podcast. My name is Dan Hafner. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. Please like us, give us a follow. We're starting to grow and grow and grow, and it is going to be awesome. Thank you very much for joining, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.